Hi there, my name is Krista. This is a weekly reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can find all my links to social media, my book, and to Always Astrology, where you can find out your entire birth chart in case you don't already know your your moon and rising. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. This is for the week of April 15th to the 21st, Taurus. I'm going to do a little bit of a different reading that I did last week. I'm going to do a 5-card spread using the Wisdom of the Oracle Tarot. And then we're going to draw some additional messages from both the Healing with the Angels and the Medicine card deck. So Taurus, happy Easter, by the way. So we're looking for general messages for Taurus for the week of April 15th until the 21st. I wish for Taurus all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Gaia to bless this reading for Taurus. So what are the general messages for Taurus for the week of April 15th to the 21st? General messages for Taurus. General messages for Taurus for the week April 15th to the 21st. My bracelet keeps wrangling there. Nice. So many light pink feminine cards for you here. A very strong fate karmic card in the future. So you could have a big decision coming up, Taurus, that it looks like you're aware that you need to make or have been in the process of making. Mercury still is in Taurus, in retrograde, by the way, until May 3rd. So you could be undergoing some large-scale thinking, or rethinking, I should say, for yourself, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. But you're not, there's no difficulty here. It's not like a difficult or a stressful, stressful decision. It's just something that you know that you have to do and you have to make up your mind about. We're looking for general messages for Taurus. Looking at the position of internal influences for Taurus. There we are. Wow, this is very cool because when I was shuffling during the intro, this popped out. I put it back in the deck, and I'm always happy, surprised, but happy when I see cards really fight to get back out that I put back in while I'm shuffling. So that's very cool. That's definitely meant to be there. So I'm just going to interpret these without the books or with the language of the authors who designed the cards. So this is important in this position because it's what you internally bring to the table. This is both of these positions, top and bottom, are influences. This is recent history, and this is probable outcome for the week. But the higher power, pardon me, is in the internal influence position. So you're making a decision, but you're also guided, pardon me, to make this decision and feel very protected and very faithful and very trusting right now. So that's lovely because you have no reason not to. And again, with all three of these cards are very feminine, very illuminating, and peaceful. So that's lovely. Again, you don't have a lot of angst or anxiety around this decision. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just something that you're getting to the bottom of, and I think finally you're ready to. So Taurus, the general energy for the reading of the week is the card Mending. This is such a gorgeous card. I hope you can see that there's two little angels on spools mending the actual flags that go on the top of the cards in some of the deck. So you're spending a lot of time and energy mending and healing. And again, this is a general reading. So if this is about relationships for you, these are being mended actively. If this is about something internal to you and in your own life in particular, you're doing the mending from within. It could be physical, mental, emotional, but the mending is happening, and this is under which auspice you are working under for the next week. Beautiful reading, by the way. Beautiful reading. Lots of beautiful energy here. So I'm just going to go talk about the numbers as I look at each of the cards. The mending card, by the way, is 7. So we're looking at sort of a mystical or intellectual card here. You could be thinking a lot about how to mend a problem more through your intellectual self rather than your heart, which is being manifested here in the general spread. So you're definitely doing a lot of heart work directly, and the overall energies that you've given it a lot of thought. So the central position is exchanging gifts, number 27. So we have either 14 or 9. I'm going to use 9 here just because this is about achievement. It is about relationships, but it is, again, it could possibly, depending on who you are, Taurus, during the week, what if you're dealing with other people, or if this is something internal that you're making a decision about, you could be very well getting a gift or giving it to yourself and feeling like you deserve this finally. Or if you're giving it to someone else, it's something that you've been wanting to give to them for a long time, and it's very thoughtful. But I'm pretty confident this is more about you this week than about other people, just because I see very strong individual cards here with both the higher power and the fates, with the 4 and the 8. So, foundational cards, stuff that goes on for you that you've taken care of before, but you're revisiting to get to the bottom of finally. So this is a very beautiful card, very pink. I hope you can see the little cat there. And very freeing. This is a freeing energy for you, Taurus. So just lovely. And a gift, listen, it doesn't have to be in the physical realm. I know Taurus rules possessions in the house of possessions. And it is an earth sign, so we think, in terms of earthy things, like things that are tangible, but exchanging gifts could be the gift of time, could be the gift of music, it could be the gift of positive energy, and sharing that and getting that back. So you might even be in a position now, Taurus, where you're not willing to accept anything less. Like if the sharing of time or energy isn't positive and doesn't feel good on, spiritual, from a higher perspective for you, you're probably not willing to spend any more time doing that. You're going to have very little patience for that. Not to be mean about it, but just in terms of taking care of yourself and your own health. So let's look at some external influences. Is poised. So it looks like you've been around people or influenced by people or have the support of people who are very confident that you can figure this out, or that you're able to get to the bottom of it or solve this problem or issue or concern. Its number is 48. We're looking at 12. And again, another spiritual number, with 1 and 2 equaling 3. So a highly spiritual number, but the beginning of spirituality, the active, outgoing portion of it for you. So you're the actor here in your own healing and in your own decision making. I don't feel at all that you're being forced to do anything, but you are ready and the time has come, so to speak, but it's not a forceful position to be in, and you are very much supported. I would even say too, now that so looking again at the internal influences, and this is an external influence card, that this could very well be, you know, your internal influences are speaking to a higher power and your relationship with a higher power and your spiritual connection, your trust, your faith, your loyalty. But this could also be in a really cool way what that energy and that faith and belief is giving back to you with regard to the gift exchange here as the central position. It feels like there's just a nice flow here. The higher power, you know, perhaps making you poised so that you can accept and exchange gifts, or give and feel good about giving, and receive and feel good about receiving. Again, it doesn't have to be a tangible thing. It can be time, energy, awareness, knowledge. But what is coming in is going out. So this is like a nice, fair, balanced energy here where you are benefiting, but in a really elevated way. This is like no small potatoes. This is more of a feeling, or a fate, like a predicament, or a circumstance, versus something, you know, in the tangible world. So this is beautiful. You're really able to finally maybe feel good about receiving. Like you don't have to do anything, or you don't have to give, and hope people like it type thing. You're at the place now where you're just like, hey, if you don't like it, too bad. Not in a mean way, again. But you're just able to, you know, brush that off. You're not going to worry about it. And in the same way, receive things. And if it's an idea or a thought or a feeling, you're able to brush it off a little bit easier. You're able to give away or put away what's not working for you, in pursuit of what does and what feels good, and not feel guilty about that, or that you don't deserve it somehow. So let's look at what is directly behind you. This is your recent past. This is the yin card. It's number 2. Of course, the first card in the deck is yang. So the yin to the yang is literally the balance. So it's also, in this regard, it's the feminine energy. So not too surprising. Taurus is a feminine card. Feminine sign. You are ruled by Venus, so a lot of love, loving energy, female energy. Maybe even other females in your life have helped you come to this place, or you're helping others, or you're emboldened by other females and their stories, or you are a female or identify as female, and this is a place you finally feel secure in, and that you have, you know, you see it as a balance. You're not imbalanced about it. You know that there is a requirement for all human beings to have both energetic sources, both male and female. But this is something that you have around you, in your recent past, or just going through, that has been very beneficial to you. And it could just very well be yourself, that you've been your own best friend this week. So that's lovely. In your past, you're not coming in with anything abhorrent. And then in your immediate future, you have the Fates, card 17, which is 8 in numerology. So we're looking at cycles, power, and success are the major words around the number 8. But the Fates also in this deck, excuse me, really refer to cosmic, I guess we call it, you know, karma. This is a karmic card. And she's drawing from the heavens here. So it looks like in her eyes, it's hard to see her eyes. It looks like they're covered. So again, with your higher power down here, I'm going to look at that. I don't know if we looked at that up close, but let's look at that in a second. But it looks like you are very aware and confident about your higher power relationship with a karmic event, and that you're able to see that clearly now, and you're not afraid of anything. And your internal influence, like I said at the beginning, is higher power. So you don't feel left out in the cold or forgotten or anything this week at all. You feel very supported, that you're heading in the right direction. You're making the right moves for yourself. So this is actually wonderful, Taurus, especially since Taurus is in retrograde. It looks like you've been doing a lot of soul searching to get to the bottom of something, and that you're reaching a decision or a place for yourself where you're finally able to, zen out a little bit about it, to stop stressing or worrying about it. And in my view, what I'm seeing here in the cards is the reason for that is because you have taken a step back. You're able to be receptive even to the cycle of what you're putting into it is what you're getting back, which is faith and healing and hope. So I think you're really benefiting from this, and you might even give up. You might even give up an addiction to worry, my dear Taurus. So I hope that's true for you. Let's move on with some additional messages from the Healing with the Angels Oracle. What are some additional messages for my dear Taurus friends for the week of April 15th to the 21st? Some additional messages for Taurus. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh, it wants to come out. There we go. And gorgeous, my dear Taurus. You might have even had this last week if I remember correctly. Playfulness. Listen, I really feel that you're in a place now where you are willing to just let it go. Whatever it was or is for you, or what that means to you. You're finding more success and obviously joy, but maybe you weren't looking for joy before or putting much value in it, but you're really finding a lot of success in going about what you're going about through playfulness, being easy about it and gentle, and again with the lack of worry and the lack of stress here, I think it's working for you. You might have even been doing a little bit of a social experiment or a personal experiment with yourself. What's it going to be like if I switch my thoughts around and the way that I go about things? Instead of praying for things out of worry, for example, I'm going to be a little bit more receptive with regard to letting things go. I'm going to replace those negative worry thoughts with, look, what comes is positive because it's through the grace of God, or it's my relationship with faith and mercy and hope and healing, where I'm going to spend my time thinking and acting and reacting out of. And these are the exchanges and the energies I have with people. And like I said, this is a karmic decision for you. This may change things on a grand scale for you, my dear Taurus. So that's lovely. So playfulness, keep doing what you're doing. It looks like it's working, and you're just able to enjoy the moment, able to enjoy where you are, relationships, and perhaps most importantly, your own internal dialogue, where you're in a position now where you're able to turn things around within. And that makes all the difference, doesn't it? Because what we think is how we feel, and how we feel is how we behave. And I think Taurus really gets this, maybe even better than all other signs, because you're so in tune. You're so in tune with these feminine, gentle, loving, beauty motivated feelings and atmospheres. So you truly do want the best for everybody. You truly do. And I feel, Taurus, sometimes that you forget that you're somebody too, and that you deserve the best too. And you deserve that love. Everything that you're giving to others, you deserve that too. And I think you might finally be in a position where you're like, hey, duh, I deserve that too. From yourself. Start there. If you're not getting it from other people, or you're getting a hard time from other people, don't put up with that anymore. Because you deserve better. You deserve peace and love that you truly, truly bring to the world. And the rest of us who aren't Taurus, we're really grateful. We really are. We don't tell you enough, Taurus, but we're really grateful for the joy and the beauty and the stability and the humor, the joy that you bring to the world. Not by being elaborate and, clownish and silly necessarily, but by being poised, by being able to be there for other people, by being energetically aware, confident and secure and faithful. That's a superpower, and you should be really proud of that. Let's have this one. Excited to see what this says for you. Oh, my dear Taurus. So opossum is another message for you from the medicine cards. It's 23. So we're looking at the number 5. So we're looking at spiritual motivation, free thinking, even adventure. So this is, numerologically speaking, very in tune with the playfulness card. I'm just going to get a key word for opossum. Forgive me, I don't know that off the top of my head for some reason. Wouldn't it be fun if it was playfulness, but I don't know if it is. So before I continue, let me look it up super fast. Diversion. So you might be overthinking things. You might be ready to leap over some barrier, but you're going to have to be a little bit crafty about it. Diversion, you're trying to get away from things, or you're trying to direct things that, I'm telling you, this, whatever it is, a diversion, it could even be, because of the entirety of the reading, it could even be negative thought patterns, old habits of thinking, which lead to a feeling. So really watch for that this week, Taurus, because you're really coming into your own and doing a lot of hard work. So remember not to get diverted and distracted with your old thoughts and patterns of behavior, because you have so many beautiful things going on for you, and you're really headed in the right direction. Choose playfulness over the addiction to worry. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for you, my dear Taurus, and let me know what you think of the spread this week. Check out my links below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care.